In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on November 4th, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi versus Purdue. The Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi Islanders are set to face off against the Purdue Boilermakers on Monday in a college basketball matchup at Mackey Arena. This game will kick off the season for both teams, setting the stage for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for each squad. Both teams are looking to make statements early in the season, especially as they integrate new faces and adjust to roster changes. The Purdue Boilermakers entered this season with high expectations once again, but their roster has experienced significant changes compared to last year. Most notably, star center Zach Edey has moved on to the NBA, joining the Memphis Grizzlies. His departure leaves a considerable gap in Purdue's lineup, as Edey was a dominant force in college basketball. Additionally, Purdue's recruitment landscape shifted as Canon Catchings, the 37th ranked recruit nationally, was released from his commitment and has since joined Brigham Young University. The Boilermakers also lost Mason Gillies, who transferred to Duke, marking yet another impactful absence. With these key players gone, Purdue will look to Braden Smith to step up. He averaged 12 points per game last season and shot an impressive 43% from the field. This season, Smith will be expected to increase his scoring output and improve his shooting from beyond the arc. Purdue's focus in this early matchup is to provide playing time to its younger players and fine-tune the team's rotations to find an effective rhythm without Edey. The Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi Islanders, on the other hand, ended last season on a high note, finishing with a 21-12 record after a slow start. This year, the Islanders are bolstered by the return of many key players from last season's roster. Gary Clark, a standout from last season, averaged 13 points per game while shooting a highly efficient 53.2% from the field. The Islanders are also welcoming Jadon Walker, a former 4-star recruit who previously played at East Carolina. Walker's presence adds a layer of talent and experience to the lineup. Another new addition is Leo Torber, who joins from New Mexico Junior College, where he averaged 12 points and 3.9 assists per game. With this combination of returning talent and new recruits, the Islanders aim to be competitive from the season's outset. Despite Purdue's clear strength and depth, especially under the guidance of some of the best players in college basketball, the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi Islanders bring back their top 3 scorers, which gives them the potential to challenge even higher-ranked teams. The Islanders' success last season and their experienced roster suggest they could be one of the stronger mid-major teams in the country. If there is to be an early season upset, this matchup holds the possibility for one, as the Islanders' offensive strength could test Purdue, who are still searching for a new identity without Edey. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi has the talent to cover the spread as an underdog, regardless of the game's location or their opponent's stature. Given their lineup and depth, the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi Islanders to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Islanders' lineup is further enhanced by Gary Clark, who returns after averaging 13 points and 8.1 rebounds, and Diane Wright-Ford, who averaged 10 points and 1.6 assists. Jordan Roberts, who also contributed with 1.6 assists per game, and Owen Deese, who played 655 minutes last season, bring additional stability to the Islanders. Over the past 3 seasons, Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Corpus Christi has been a dominant force in the Southland Conference with a returning core of their top 3 scorers. Purdue, for their part, sees the return of Braden Smith, who averaged 12 points and an impressive 7.5 assists per game. Fletcher Lawyer also brings back his scoring prowess, having averaged 10 points and 1.9 assists. Additionally, Trey Kaufman-Renn averaged 4 rebounds per game, while Miles Colvin, who played 265 minutes last season, rounds out the team's depth. While Zach Edey's departure is significant, Purdue remains a formidable team in the Big Ten, with Lawyer's consistent double-digit scoring and Smith's recognition as a first-team All-Big Ten player. Given the offensive firepower on both teams, this game has the potential to exceed the projected total, making over the projected total our full-game total pick. Maine versus Duke. The Maine Black Bears will face off against the Duke Blue Devils in an exciting college basketball showdown on Monday at the historic Cameron Indoor Stadium. This matchup not only brings the thrill of an early season game, but also introduces fans to some of the season's top talents and compelling storylines. Much of the preseason buzz surrounding the Duke Blue Devils has centered on the arrival of freshman sensation Cooper Flagg. Widely regarded as a potential #1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft, Flagg's debut as fans and analysts alike predicting that he could quickly emerge as the best player in college basketball. Last season, Duke finished strong with a 29-7 record, ultimately advancing to the Elite Eight before falling short of the Final Four. Head coach John Scheyer, now in his 3rd season at the helm, is leading a team that many believe has the pieces to go all the way. This season, the Blue Devils have bolstered their roster further with the addition of Sion James, a talented shooting guard from Tulane who averaged 14 points per game last year. Monday's game is expected to serve as an opportunity for Duke to settle in and potentially offer playing time to their bench if they can establish a comfortable lead early. On the other side, the Maine Black Bears concluded last season with a 15-17 overall record and went 7-9 in conference play, reflecting both promise and room for improvement. This season, they face the challenge of replacing 3 of their 5 starters from last year, meaning the team will need to rely on fresh talent as well as returning players. Maine struggled to close out tight games last season, an area they are undoubtedly looking to improve. Leading the Black Bears is Kellen Tynes, who was instrumental last season, averaging 13 points per game and earning the title of America East Defensive Player of the Year. Maine's defense, which allowed 68 points per game last season, will need to play at an exceptionally high level if they hope to keep the game competitive against a powerhouse like Duke. The Black Bears are unlikely to match Duke's scoring power, so their defense will need to excel if they want a shot at staying close. This game marks only the 2nd time Maine has played at Cameron Indoor Stadium, with their first visit in 2016 ending in a lopsided 94-55 loss. This year's matchup has a unique angle, as Flagg is a Maine native and his mother played for the Black Bears, adding a personal connection to the event. While the storylines are intriguing, the game itself may be less competitive, with Duke expected to dominate thanks to their depth and talent. Duke enters the season ranked 7th in the AP poll and is widely considered a frontrunner to win the Atlantic Coast Conference title. Their recruiting class, ranked #1 in the nation, brings an infusion of talent, which only adds to their projected dominance this season. The Maine Black Bears may benefit from returning a solid core from last season, but that experience likely won't make much of an impact against Duke's superior lineup. With Cooper Flagg and other highly ranked recruits ready to make their mark, Duke has an overwhelming advantage in skill and athleticism. While the Blue Devils may need a few games to fully gel, their sheer talent level should be more than enough to secure a comfortable win against Maine. For Duke, this game serves as both a warm-up and a debut stage for Flagg, who is projected as the top pick in the 2025 NBA Draft. So the Blue Devils to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Returning for the Black Bears are Kellen Tynes, who averaged 13 points and 3.6 assists, and Jadon Clayton, who posted 9 points and 4 assists per game last season. Role players A.J. Lopez and Queon Burns also contributed significantly, with Lopez logging 544 minutes and Burns close behind with 537 minutes. Maine did lose one of their key players, Peter Filippovity, but they retain much of last year's core, which should help keep them competitive in their conference. It's worth noting that Maine's basketball program has turned a corner in recent years, ending a 9-year streak of single-digit win seasons and achieving double-digit wins for 2 consecutive seasons. Duke's roster this season includes a mix of returning talent and fresh faces. Tyrese Proctor is back after averaging 10.5 points and 3.7 assists, while Caleb Foster contributed 8 points and 2.1 assists. Bench players Spencer Hubbard and Neil Begovich also returned, though they saw limited minutes last year. Duke's recruiting efforts have paid off handsomely, bringing in key players such as Isaiah Evans, Cooper Flagg, and Patrick Ngongba II, all highly regarded recruits. Flagg, in particular, is widely anticipated to be the top pick in next year's NBA draft. With this blend of talent and a top-tier recruiting class, Duke has the capability to make a serious bid for their first national championship since 2015. Expect a high-scoring game with Duke setting the pace. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Jackson State versus Houston. The Jackson State Tigers and the Houston Cougars will face off in an exciting college basketball matchup on Monday at the Purdue Center. Both teams are looking to start the season strong, with Jackson State aiming to make a statement and Houston hoping to continue its dominance from last year. Last season, the Jackson State Tigers wrapped up with a 15-17 overall record, but many believe they could have achieved even more with better roster depth. In conference play, they posted a respectable 11-7 record, showing that they have potential to be competitive. This season, Jackson State fans are eagerly awaiting the debut of Deshaun Ruffin, a transfer from Ole Miss who was expected to play last season but was sidelined due to injury. Ruffin is anticipated to be the standout player for Jackson State and could even emerge as one of the top players in their conference, potentially giving the team the boost they need to excel. Juan Reyna III, a player who has navigated through several college basketball programs, has reunited with his former coach at Jackson State in hopes of revitalizing his career. If the Tigers want to succeed against a formidable Houston team, they'll need to focus on scoring efficiency. Going up against Houston's tough defensive setup will certainly test their offensive capabilities, and scoring will be a critical area for improvement. Meanwhile, the Houston Cougars enter the season with high expectations and strong momentum, as 4 out of their 5 starters from last year are returning. Houston finished last season with an impressive 32-5 record, including a 15-3 mark in conference play, largely due to their elite defensive performance. This year, they're expected to maintain that defensive prowess and once again rank among the best in the league. Shooting guard L.J. Cryer, a key player for Houston, returns after a season in which he averaged 15.5 points per game, shooting 41.1% from the field and an impressive 38.8% from beyond the arc. Another crucial piece for the Cougars is Jaywan Roberts, who, while not widely recognized by national media, will likely play a vital role as a game changer. Roberts averaged 9.5 points per game last season and will be counted on to make impactful contributions throughout the season. When these teams met last season, Houston claimed a dominant victory, winning by a 34-point margin. Although Jackson State has lost their top scorer from last year, the bigger issue might be their weak defensive rebounding. According to Ken Palm rankings, Jackson State was 313th in defensive rebounding last season, and there is little indication that this will significantly improve. With only 2 players on their roster standing taller than 6'5", Jackson State may struggle against Houston's aggressive approach to offensive rebounding. Houston has ranked among the top 12 teams in offensive rebounding rate for 5 consecutive seasons, and their strength in this area will likely create numerous second-chance opportunities, giving them a considerable advantage. Even if Houston's shooting is not perfect on opening night, their rebounding prowess should allow them to control the game comfortably. While Jackson State is a solid team, Houston's dominant performance in last season's matchup and their tendency to overwhelm less experienced teams suggest a similar outcome in this game. Houston often uses early season matchups against weaker opponents to make a statement, and it's likely they'll do the same here. Therefore, picking Houston to win and cover the spread as favorites seems a safe and confident choice for this matchup. The Tigers do bring back some talent from last season, and they're hoping to see Deshaun Ruffin finally healthy after missing last year. Ruffin, who last played at Ole Miss, averaged 9.5 points and 3.2 assists per game. Another new addition is Shannon Grant, a transfer from Florida Agricultural and Mechanical, who brings along averages of 10 points and 4.4 rebounds per game. Jay Mitchell, the top returning scorer for Jackson State, adds 7 points and 3.1 rebounds per game. With these players, Jackson State is poised to be more competitive this season, but they'll need to stay healthy if they hope to challenge for a top spot in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Houston's roster remains largely intact under the leadership of Coach Kelvin Sampson. Alongside L.J. Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp returns, bringing his scoring ability after averaging 13 points and 3.5 rebounds last season. Jaywan Roberts continues to be a vital asset with his 9.5 points and 6.8 rebounds per game. Adding further depth is Milos Uzin, a transfer from Oklahoma who recorded 9 points and 4.4 assists per game for the Sooners. Uzin has been viewed as a potential diamond in the rough and now has the opportunity to showcase his skills on a big stage with a top-tier program. For Houston, this season has a championship or bust feel, but Sampson's experience and leadership should keep them focused and prepared. Jackson State is expected to improve this season, but Houston's elite defense may prove overwhelming. The Cougars' defense is likely to set the tone for this game, making it difficult for the Tigers to score consistently. Although Houston's offense should also perform well, it's their defense that may keep the score low. Jackson State could struggle to reach even 40 points, making under the projected total our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.